So hey guys, it's Ziant again, and we're back with Uprising, finally, on Studio, or Firing Range, or Firing Studio, or Studio Range, or Firing Range from Black Ops 1 with a nice, fresh new coat of paint. But I will say that it does look better in Black Ops 2, though the color palette in Black Ops 2 is technically all around better. Regardless, yes, we're on Uprising. I'm going to bring you some Mob of the Dead gameplay, at least on the playofthegame.co channel, and we're going to have a good time. Now, I wanted to talk briefly today about maps from old games being brought back into new games. And the problem becomes, in newer Call of Duties, they introduce mechanics that were not in older Call of Duties. For example, the target finder, the prevalence of the LMG, the power of the shotguns, the prevalence and power of the sniper rifles. All of this was not present in the original Black Ops. And you can go back to Modern Warfare 2, in Strike, Vacant, and all the other maps that came back from Call of Duty 4. You did not have the noob tubes, or Commando, or the quick scoping, or Scavenger. None of this was there. These games they're bringing maps into are much more complex than the maps they're taking them from. And so you have to worry, at least from a development standpoint, you have to worry about map balance, especially when you're not really doing anything to the map, or for that matter, to the spawn system. Firing Range never had the best spawn system, but Black Ops 1 spawns were slightly more predictable and a little bit better than Black Ops 2 spawns. And so when you do nothing to the spawn logic in Firing Range, and then you port it into Black Ops 2 and you mix the spawn logic, it's kind of disgusting. But the thing that really succeeds about the Firing Range Studio crossover is that Firing Range was at its core a very good map. And you can say the same about Vacant and Strike and Crash and the fourth map whose name escapes me. I apologize for that. But these are maps that work in Call of Duty because they are at their core well-built, functional, fun-to-play maps. And so Treyarch made a very conscious decision to bring back only the map that they know would work. Nuketown doesn't work because in Black Ops 1, it didn't really work in the sense of a map being good. It was just chaotic. That was all Nuketown was and all it will ever be. And they brought it to Black Ops 2 only because the fans would have had a conniption fit if they hadn't done it. But Nuketown, like so many commentators have said, doesn't work in Black Ops 2 for a number of reasons. EMP grenades, LMGs, snipers, shotguns, spawns, explosives, blah blah, I could go on. But Firing Range had this nice balance of long sight lines, short sight lines, predictable spawns for Black Ops and Treyarch games, and overall just this nice feel to it. And because they've done this with Firing Range, will they bring back some of the other good maps from Black Ops? I know people are clamoring for Summit. I, at least, am clamoring for WMD and Grid. We already know that Treyarch can put a nice little snow covering on everything with Black Ops 2 because they did it with Downhill, despite that map being kind of shit. And I'm really curious what kind of new take they'll have on things, because Firing Range initially was set, I think, in Cuba. And so they ported it into a Los Angeles studio. And I don't really care about the aesthetic, but I just want it to look good. And Summit, of course, is in the Russian mountains. Where can they put Summit? That's interesting. That's new. That's fun. Because developing a game like Call of Duty, where you have to recycle things just for the sake of time, it gives the developers an opportunity to just have a little fun. They don't have to think so hard about, oh, will this sightline be overpowered? Will these weapons not work? When we know, at least for the most part, every weapon type works, at least on Firing Range it did. You had your SMGs, your shotguns, your sniper rifles, heck, even the ballistic knife and tomahawks was a powerful setup, well, on any map as long as you had Marathon Pro. But you can really tell when a development team has not worried so much about a map's quality. You look at a map like Raid, and you know the developers, they modeled it after a real location, but they wanted to keep it balanced and fun. So they really had to work hard about sightlines, about all the things that make a map balanced. And then you look at a map like Aftermath, where you know that it was probably a map they said, well, let's just put this together. It's not going to be great, but, you know, we can probably make it work. And so when Treyarch doesn't have to worry about making a map well built, when they can just sort of have a little fun and relax, you know that they have more time to focus on balancing and patching and working on whatever they're doing next, Call of Duty or what have you. And so I want more maps brought forward, but I want them brought forward correctly, and I want them brought forward with purpose, not just because people are asking for it.